Good morning, everybody. It's been a long time since I did a live video. I thought I would come on here. I'm not in my car like I'm usually when I'm doing a live video, but I hope a lot of you guys are A, getting ready for work, B, maybe just getting up and having your coffee. I'm hoping I'm able to get most of you because of course we work during the day. Anyways, I want to come on here because I think this subject is something that needs to be put forth, and maybe most of you don't think about it. The word budget. Okay, wait, before you sign off, I want you to understand that this will be a valuable video, and hopefully it'll give you some insight into how you can use the word budget in your everyday life, therefore allowing you to create wealth for you and your family. I want to say that my story with budgeting actually stems from watching my mom. Actually, I think I got my skills and my attention to money from my mom. I remember her always writing down when her payday was and all the bills she had to pay. I remember all these numbers. She used to handwrite all these numbers. And I realize now that's where I got my budgeting habit. In fact, right after I started to work, so when I first got my first legit job working at a women's clothing store, every paycheck I would do what my mom did. I had a book, I bought it from the dollar store back when there was a dollar store where everything was actually $1. And I would write down the payday, how much the payday was anticipated to be, things that I had to pay for. So once I started to have to pay for my student loan, that was an expense. What was another expense? Another expense was paying off my first credit card, going out to eat, things like that. Now, there were very minimal expenses when I was 18, 19, however old I was. But the thing is, it started then. And it started then because I watched my mom do it. Okay, so for those of you guys who have young children, this is something that you should be watching, but not just for your children, but for yourself, especially if you don't have any kind of habit that you've built to start looking at your money, okay? I know a lot of you guys probably look at your money maybe through the eyes of a bank statement, which is fine. But there's something to be said to be planning what that bank statement's going to look like. Isn't there? Is that not the word budget? Is that not what the word budget means? Is to actually budget things accordingly, not look at something that's already been spent. Let me give you an example. If you owned a company, or let's not say you don't own, let's say your friend owns a company, okay? And they're looking for investors. And you're like, do your due diligence. You look at their statements, you want to say, I want to look at your net worth statement and your income statement. How profitable are you? Let's say your friend asks you to invest in his company. Wouldn't you do your due diligence and say, okay, well, how profitable are you? I don't want to lose money, right? So you find out that your friend, who has very little experience in business, is spending way more than they're bringing in. So you start to question, what's this? What's this? And they're like, oh yeah, it's stuff we need for the business. Okay, when do you expect to get it back? When do you expect for this debt to come back? It's like, whenever we sell enough products. That's not going to sit very well with you, is it? Knowing that they're not even profitable, but they're always in the negative. You would probably not venture into that company knowing that it was spending way more than it was earning. Because eventually that company's going to go bankrupt and you're going to lose all your money anyways. I need you to think about your life as a business. Your life as a business, except there's no investors, of course. Maybe there is, but there's no investors in your life. The investor in your life is your future you. Your future you is counting on you to be making the right decisions. Spending less than you earn, putting money away for your future self, because all they have is your habit right now to save money for them to live. Okay? So I'm here to talk about how you can fit budgeting into your lifestyle, because I realize it's not the most sexy word. Believe me, I get it. But turning a blind eye is not going to make it go away or make it get better. So find a way that it makes sense for you to start doing it. Look at your money more often, first of all. And looking at your money at the end of the year when you're doing your taxes is not gonna help you become wealthy, okay? And I'm not saying that you have to look at it every day. I don't want you to be stressed out about this, but make it fit your lifestyle. Here's an example, okay? And again, this is something that's worked for me, and it worked for me, and then I ended up not doing it for a few years, and it didn't work. And I start to get stressed, and then I start to come back to it. I'm like, okay, I feel better now. Hopefully it gives you peace of mind as well as it did me. Anyways, every paycheck I would look at all of the expenses that are about to come out, okay? And I structured it so that I'd look at my paycheck every time we got paid. So even if my husband got paid and he got paid every other week, so we got paid literally every week, I would look at our paycheck every week. But not just look at it. Before I looked at it, I would look at how much money needed to be in the account so that our fixed costs would need to come out successfully. Okay? For those of you who work in the banks, you guys understand. You see a lot of people bounce their checks or bounce their payments. You wonder, how did you not know this payment was there? And sometimes it's just a matter of being organized and keeping payment accounts separate from your actual spending account. So that's probably the first recommendation I'm going to give all of you. If you have pre-authorized payments like mortgage payments, insurance payments, car payments, and typically they're probably coming from the same account, keep that account separate from where you would spend your money, okay? And so every payday, I would look at, okay, so let's say it's the middle of the month. Happy Valentine's Day, by the way. It's February 14th, 2024. And let's say that I had payments coming out at the end of the month, February 29th. We actually have a leap year this year, February 29th. And let's say that I have a whole bunch of payments coming out that day. I would look at our paychecks for the next couple weeks to make sure that all of the payments that were coming out on that day would be covered. Okay? And so I would do everything in my power to make sure that maybe in the last 4 weeks, I've been accumulating that amount of money to land in that account on the last day of the month. That's just me. That works for me. That might not make any sense for you, but that works for me. Looking at it every week, knowing we get paid, paying the bills, and then going on with my day, okay? Now, maybe you're the kind of person like, I don't have a spouse and I only have one paycheck and I only get paid bi-weekly. Look at it at least bi-weekly, every payday, okay? Every payday, look at how much money you anticipate things are gonna come out, and then making sure that account that money is gonna come out of is covered or is going to be covered. But this takes planning, okay? This takes planning. Budgeting is not reacting. Budgeting is proactively planning. You need to plan how you can make your future self comfortable in retirement. That's really what this comes down to. That's really what this comes down to. So I hope you understand that there are different ways to work this. You can use a piece of paper and a pen, maybe buy a notebook so you can look back. The first thing I would probably encourage you to do is actually look at what you're spending. Take a bird's eye view of 3 months of spending. Look at all your utilities, all of your debt payments. You got to pay off your debt, even if it's a minimum payment. And you should be seeing your debt coming down. If you're structured and you're paying it off. Where a lot of people go wrong is they make the payment, they make a large payment. They make a large payment. Being in the financial industry for over 25 years, and I know some of you guys who are watching have been in the financial industry for a while. This is, and you can agree with me, but people are funny. Well, they're funny. They, how much money do you have on your credit card? Oh, I pay off my credit card. Okay. What's your limit? It's like $5,000. So you see that they say I pay off my credit card and they make really good money. But you see no savings. There's nothing in their bank account. They are living paycheck to paycheck. It is so evident they're living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe you're feeling this too. But what in their head, what they're doing is, well, I put everything on my credit card and I just pay it off. So that's basically living in your credit card. It's not being debt free, it's living in your credit card. So for those of you guys who are looking to become debt free, and that's a totally different talk, you need to work in your minimum payments on your debt in your budget. You need to work in amount for your food. Do not count them as the same thing. I know a lot of you guys say, but I use my credit card to buy my groceries, I get the points. Yes, that's fine, that's totally fine, okay? Use your credit card to get the points, but then throw back the cash on the credit card as if you never spent on the credit card. Okay, so you need an allocation for how much you spend on food. If you have no idea how much you spend on food, that is a big red flag that you need to know how much you spend on food, okay? And it's not just food, it's eating out. How often do you see Tim Hortons on the bank statement? How often do you see Starbucks? How often do you see A&W? Count all of that. I betcha that you're gonna find out that you spend way more money on eating out, unnecessary money on food if you're gonna be eating out. You're probably wasting a lot of food. This is a really good time to really start downsizing the stress that you have with finances. And this is the one way it needs to start, is trying to find a way to budget your money. Your money is important. Your money today is the gateway to helping you have money in the future. And for those of you guys who think, that's far in the future, the far future comes really fast, my friend. I was there. I was your age at one time, and let me tell you, it came super fast. Now I'm scrounging, and now I'm like, oh my father, I have to get ready for my retirement. It's not just enough to put money into RSPs. It's about finding ways to get out of debt, to pay off your mortgage, to learn more about what your Canada pension plan is. Some of you guys say, I have a really good pension. Yeah, maybe you do. You might work in the public sector. But then when I ask you, what is that pension? Oh, well, I trust my union. I'm sure it's pretty good. Ooh, those are the kind of conversations I have. And it's okay. Okay? No one teaches us about pension. No one teaches us about the two types of pensions out there. No one teaches us about RSPs. No one teaches us about the Canada pension plan. And that's where I come in. I hope you get value from videos like this. I'm not talking about pensions. I'm talking about budgeting. Okay, let's get back to budgeting, Irene. Let's get back to budgeting. Budgeting is the first step in getting to know about your finances. We complain about how the government doesn't teach us finances, or the school system. We complain about how financial education is not taught in the schools. But how many of you guys are seeking proper financial education? It's overwhelming. There's so many things out there. People are telling you, you should do this, you should invest in this, buy rental properties, buy crypto. Oh, you know how my friend made so much money on the market? Invest in this. There's lots of information. I get it. There's lots of information. And to me, it's not necessarily scammy, okay? I'm not saying that any of those things are not going to work, but it's just so much of them. You just don't know who to trust. So what do? You hide. You cower. You're like, you know what? I'll deal with this tomorrow. I've been there. You know how stressful it is to get all your receipts ready, especially if you're self-employed and you know, oh, I have to do my taxes. I get it. I understand the overwhelm. You'd just rather not. And tomorrow's gonna come. But then years later, tomorrow's come many times and you still haven't touched it. So look for a way to make it fit in your life, okay? That's all I would encourage you to do, is just decide today, I'm gonna start looking at the money that I earn and I work hard for more often. I'm going to plan out when I'm gonna be debt-free. I'm going to take ownership of the savings I have in my pension, of my RSPs, of everything, and I'm going to learn more about what I have. It's the only thing you could do is learn what you have before you even learn what you have to change. isn't it? You don't know if you need to make a change unless you know what you have, and then talk to the right person who's willing to sit down with you and talk to you about the needs of what you're going to have when you finally stop working for money. So budgeting and making it fit into your lifestyle is the first step. I think that's the 5th time I've said that. Make it easy. Don't make it overwhelming. Budgeting is actually planning. Budgeting is not looking at what you have, not crying over what you don't have, but budgeting is planning what you want. If you want to be debt-free, plan for it. If you want to make sure you have money in the account to pay the bills and not bounce any payments, have money in there. You know how much you get paid. You know how much your payments are. Or maybe that's what it starts with, is actually knowing. So, I hope you got value from that. I know it's not the most exciting topic in the world, but it starts right there. If you felt like this was a valuable video, if it got you motivated to start looking at your money, please comment, share this video. I hope that in future days, future weeks, future months, that I can create more value for you. I just want you to feel at peace. That's really what I want to genuinely help people like me, myself, people like my parents who work hard for their money. I just want you to feel financial peace. And it really starts with just recognizing that you're not feeling at peace right now. Anyways, I got you. Have a great day.